Welcome to the garden, June update. I would love to be just really candid on perspective. This is my garden. We have, of course, a very tiny little space for a garden, but I will say I make do with what I have, for sure. It's really about the vertical growing that is important when you have a small garden, because not everyone can just plant everything in the ground and just go ham with the amount of space they have. Since my tiny little space is so limited, and I'll insert some pictures of what it looked like with nothing, this is kind of what we got to work with. So we have an abundance of zinnias. Every time I walk out here, I'm terrified some kind of animal's gonna pop out, but hopefully not. Oh my gosh, just so beautiful. Like all of them. And actually this variety pack, I didn't even know there were some kind of seeds, some seeds that I didn't even know the colors of. They are just fascinating. I did put a watermelon plant here, and it's because it was on my plant stand and no one had grabbed it, and I just couldn't let this beautiful, oh wow, it's a lot longer than I thought. This beautiful watermelon plant just go to waste. You can kind of see there are itty bitty little watermelons on there. I don't know if they got, if that one got pollinated or not, but I guess we'll see. You can tell by these bottom ones that that one right there did not get pollinated because it turned like yellow. Usually when they get pollinated, they'll just start getting a little more plump, but I'm gonna leave that there. Actually, let me put this here so the grass people don't cut it. It is just, I really do, this was kind of the vision I wanted, because the front of our home is here and they look like these little townhomes. But this whole side was just empty. It just had mulch on it. And I was like, you know what? Of course, I can't plant anything right here. I was just like, you know what? If there's just mulch, I'm just going to throw some dirt down and utilize it as space for growing. And I really wanted some zinnias, and of course, they're pretty big and they take up a lot of space. So I was like, you know what, let me just put it on the side. The plans are going to be a little different for this area next year. So I already have some 12-foot grow bags, and then I have a metal casing, like metal planters they're going to go in, but they're long, so that I'm not taking any more space above here. I'm kind of just staying in that perimeter. But those, I'm going to put one here and one over there, and I'm going to utilize this space for, of course, still flowers, but also growing like more peppers and tomatoes and different things, because this one side gets so much sun. Like, it's a ridiculous amount of sun. Probably the front yard gets, well, the front area gets like 6 hours, and then the back area gets, I think, like 7. This whole side, I think it's like 9. And it's kind of crazy because you can see how the sun kind of turns around. But yeah, it gets so much sun. So I'm hoping to get that done sometime in the future, because I don't want to take all my zinnias out. Like, who would want to rip out these out just to put something else? I'm just going to let them be there, let people pick from them, and just let them thrive. Now, I will say the worst issue that we're having here is not even pests. It's ducks. And it's because we feed them, of course. I know people frown upon that. I'm so sorry. But I can't help it. They're little beggars. But these were my ground cherry plants, and they have been destroying them. And of course, I'm right by my AC unit, so I'm so sorry about that. But they're destroying them. It's driving me crazy. But I'm just leaving them here, and I'm like, you know what? You guys go ham, whatever. So I ended up growing a bunch of little ground cherries all over the place, and I have 2 more at the front of this, because I was just like, you know what, if I'm not going to get them here, let me just let the ducks think they're doing something and whatever. I do have right next to here, so there's just a bunch of wildflowers in between, and then you have some corn. So I grew some corn here. There was a whole nother row of it, but not sure what really happened to that, but it didn't work out, obviously. But there's 3 there. We'll see if they get, you know, their pollination and if I actually get corn. But the real goal is to block this out. I was trying to find a way to deal with this in the best way I could, and those two trellis planters kind of worked out for that side, but for this side drives me nuts. So I'm just gonna grow corn, and corn grows pretty tall, so that was the plan for that. This Greenstalk, oh my god, this Greenstalk. It is, oh my god, look at the bumblebee. It's the first time I've seen one. That's the first time I've seen one. Oh my god, pure panic, pure panic. Oh my gosh. Well, at least I know that we have some bumblebees, because this is the first bee I've seen in my garden. Oh my gosh. Okay, distraction, I'm so sorry. Continue, little man. Anyway, that was exciting. So I do have some peppers in here. So there's a pepper down there. It's been doing okay. This pepper is, I don't even remember what I put it as. Something looking like macaroni. That's the pepper in there. This one's doing pretty good, actually. I'm thinking it just needs a little more sun, but it's doing really good. And then if you look inside, there's a ton of volunteer strawberry plants. So I'm just gonna let those go and just live their life. I don't really mind. And then more peppers. So the goal was to plant as many peppers as I could in the Greenstalk, because the Greenstalk thrives with peppers in them. I don't know what it is. It's just, I don't know, peppers love it in there. The ones that I had in the ground last year didn't work out very well, but the ones in the Greenstalk thrive. Like this is, again, I always mention this plant because I'm just so amazed. This is one pepper plant, and it has 4 poblano peppers. Like, that's crazy. And I'm not pruning it or anything, I'm just letting it be. The plan is to take out these green beans this weekend, because these are not thriving as well as the ones next to the trellis are, and you'll see that in a little bit. So I'm just going to rip these out. I have 2 per pocket. Yes, they worked out pretty good for a couple of waves of beans, but not as much as the other one, and I just rather use this space for something else. See, there's like still beans on it. I will say, what I do like about the beans being in the Greenstalk is they're above the ground. There's no bugs. I haven't seen any worms on any of them, which is great, because I had that issue in the garden. I raised beds in Texas and there were worms, but yeah, these peppers are going crazy. So once who knows, I may end up leaving this one bean plant for stability for this pepper plant. I don't know yet. Look, that's in one pocket. This flower was one tiny flower. These are my bell peppers, and I was telling my sister about them because they're actually pretty big. I mean, for growing right now, they're still not done growing, of course, but they're getting pretty big. And then we have this pepper, of course, still doing good. It's really tall. And then there's a pepper right behind it. Oop, I think I just moved a bee. Sorry. And that's kind of how we have that going. There's still so many peppers and so many things on this side. There's so much foliage. This tomato, I just put it there. I don't know if I'm going to end up keeping it, because it's not doing as well as I thought it would. But this is also the one that got eaten alive by the ducks. Gotta love that for us. And there's just some thyme. There's oregano. There's mint. There's not mint, a different type of oregano. I don't remember what it was called. But yeah, I just have a lot of stuff. The lavender's thriving, which is, how beautiful is that? Just gorgeous. That's kind of it for this Greenstalk. I just kind of started throwing stuff in there. This was the first one I got put together, and I just really was itching to get something in the ground. So that's kind of it on that. I had planted these cucumbers, I don't remember, a couple weeks back, but they're doing good. These are doing great, but these get all sun, no shade. They're doing fantastic. Now, the goal is to have those climb. These, on the other hand, were planted the same time as those, but if you can see, they're yellow. They're kind of just bleh. They look like they have disease. They're smaller. But I really think it's because these are getting more sun because this squash plant keeps shading them out over here. So I'm hoping I may end up just pulling that one and planting something else there. But I'm going to give them another week. These are great. Those are doing fantastic. I can see those producing a lot more. And of course, this is one of my zucchini plants. Oh my God, there's a baby! Hello, little lizard. How are you? So cute. Okay, there's a little lizard there, which I love him. Yeah, this is just my zucchini plant. I have been cutting her back because I'm trying to get her to grow up. And she's doing good. She's actually growing up. No disease yet. Nothing on the foliage has shown that there's some kind of anything. This is the ducks. This is not the cause of any bug. Over here we have that bumblebee that is just having the time of his life. Oh my God, I love him. He's pollinating everything. This is what you call hard working. You are hard working. Thank you for your service, little bumblebee. This was complete chaos because this was actually just, I have one, I think it's like 15 diameter pot, and I put drainage holes in the bottom, and I put a trellis. It was about 3.5 foot, maybe 4 foot trellis on top of that, and then I planted a tomato plant. I think that one was sun gold in the middle of that trellis, and then beans around it, climbing beans. Well, as you can see, you can't even see the trellis anymore. It is completely taken over by this tomato plant. I had to zip tie in order to get this tomato plant to be stable because it was nutso in there. And then on the tomato plant, all you see are the beans climbing it. So I'm gonna give you a view from the inside of this tomato plant. Here is what I'm talking about. You see these beans. They have, now there's a lot of foliage. I need to go in here and take out the suckers because it's getting kind of big. But if you look, there's tomatoes. But along the stem of this tomato plant are the long beans have taken over. Here's a better view. Look at this. They're just wrapped around it. It's kind of crazy. So I ended up leaning her towards this big trellis so that she would have some stability, because obviously there's that in the middle, but that is not containing it. This is the zip tie, and then she's getting heavy. So I just kind of leaned her over. This is the tomato plant in here so that she wouldn't fall over. And then obviously these Chinese long beans have gone absolutely nutso. I will say they add so much foliage and so much beauty to the garden that I wasn't expecting. Because they're just like a long bean, I don't know, I wasn't thinking they were gonna be so pretty, but they add such beauty. Like, look at these leaves, I mean these flowers. Like, that is gorgeous. I'm obsessed with that. It's definitely very pretty. This trellis was in my old house, and it was pretty simple. I still have my massive big one, but it's at my dad's house until we move and get a bigger space. But this is the trellis that I have here. It was more simple, thin, and I didn't think it'd be really noticeable. So I put it there, but it is filling out. It's very sturdy, so I'm hoping it can handle all that's on it. I didn't even, okay, so there's also more long beans. This is the massive green bean plant I'm talking about. Like, this is one plant. This is humongous compared to each plant that's in there. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, one mass, and just to prove it's one plant, look, just one. It's huge. And then right next to it, you have another watermelon, because I threw her in here. So this watermelon's gonna climb this trellis. The green bean plant probably will be evicted in a little bit, but it's still doing good, so I'm not gonna evict it yet. I have this tromboncino squash, which is doing fantastic. The leaves are huge. It's giving so much beauty, but this is also gonna have to climb this trellis, which is kind of gonna be interesting. So you have the squash, and then you have the watermelon. But then you also have the millions and millions of long beans that I decided to add on there too, along with the tomato that has decided to just bust out the seams. So, very interesting. Not sure how that's going to work. Moving on. Another green bean plant. This is also one plant, but that one's doing so much better than this one, so at least now I know that area thrives with the green beans. These are mainly my tomatoes. I have tons of them. I mean, for 2 people and a baby, like, I don't know what I was thinking, but I think I just got crazy because we were moving and I wanted to get something in the ground. So I have some rosemary in there. I have also some herbs, some rosemary, some flowers, some basil, but mainly the tomatoes. So this is my kind of contraption I did before. I had these left over for my hanging planters when I was at my old house, and I was just like, you know what? These are growing really tall. I need something to support them. And I need to attach a string onto another one, which is what I like because they have those little things, which I was tying the strings to. So it's like multiple opportunity to tie stuff up. I'm going to end up tying this one up soon. This little man is following me. But that's kind of how that's going. And it's going great. I chopped off all the leaves at the bottom and then just letting the foliage go up so it doesn't get any disease, and it looks good. I have 2 in that grow bag, which tons of tomatoes on those 2. Then you have this one, but one of these is going nuts, like it's getting really tall, and it is absolutely loaded with tomatoes. If you ask me what type of tomato plant this is, I have no idea. I just know it's a dwarf one. So if you know, let me know, because I really want to grow these next year. I really like the way these grow. This one is also tomato plant. Look at that. And those are so cute. Now, tomatoes I sucked at last year. I was not a good tomato grower. But this year, apparently everything is thriving. So that's great. This is another tomato. I was going to rip this one out. Oh my gosh. If you look at the bottom, like, it's just looking rough. So I was ready to eject this one. But there's tomatoes on it, and they're starting to turn yellow. I think that's a sweet sugar or sugar rush or something like that. But the top's doing good, so I'm just going to leave it. I may end up just digging and potting it up and digging deeper and planting the stem in there, but who knows. These are a recent purchase. I got these from Amazon. I thought it'd be a good idea to add to this fence because it's just a bland wall and I just needed something there. You know, sometimes I just need some color. So the plan is to plant some flowers, maybe some herbs in these, I'm thinking. I definitely need more flowers, more beauty, because there's a lot of green. And although I love green, I need some flowers, some pollinators. This cute little thing I got for Mother's Day, and this was at Lowe's. I think it was like 45 bucks, honestly. Somewhere around that 45 range. Absolutely beautiful. Tons of wildflowers and stuff. This is the other zucchini plant I have. I've already gotten one off of each, but I do need to stake this up. So I have a stake right here to stake this up because it needs help. It definitely needs help because it's getting attacked by the ducks and it just needs to breathe. I have Chinese sweet potatoes that are losing their ever-loving mind. There's also some over here. Tons. So if I wanted to, I can cut this off, propagate these like I did before, and then just give them out to people, which I'm thinking I may, but not sure yet. A slew of wildflowers. I don't know which one this one is. My sister was saying it looks like a marigold. I mean, I could see it, but I don't know. It's just, they're massive. I don't know what happened. I threw them in the pocket, and I guess they loved it there, so I was like, okay. Strawberries. These are the strawberries I planted with you guys. They are popping off. There's a lot of strawberries happening on here. Basil. I keep cutting this one back, and it's getting bigger and bigger. More strawberries. Let me see. That is a sweet potato I started from the slips, and I gave it to the little boy next door so he can learn to garden. He's very excited about that. And then you have more strawberries. Honestly, the strawberries are just popping off. They did really good. I was really happy with my choice. And there's another one back there. But that's kind of where we're at. And everyone has, let me back up. Everyone has a pretty small space in this neighborhood, but it's really not about how much space you have, it's what you do with it. And this is I downgraded to a very small backyard little garden, and I am not opposed to it. I'm super happy. I think it's beautiful. I am making it my own. I'm definitely going to tweak a lot of things compared to what I did this year. For sure gonna have more structure to it, but right now it's just beauty. I plan on just growing a bunch more flowers in it and maybe adding some things, but as time goes on, I'm just really thankful for where I'm at, and I can't wait to see what the month of June brings for us, because I'm thinking that those are gonna be planted out, of course. These are all gonna bloom. Tomatoes are gonna be red. This whole trellis is gonna have this tromboncino. It's gonna be beautiful. Now, this tomato plant, I'm terrified. I don't know, but we will see. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me in my garden. I appreciate it, and I hope you come back to see more. And if you have any questions about small backyard gardens, let me know.